dad, shorten it up a little bit. Give his girlfriend a free t-shirt. I don't know why the dentist makes you lie to him. Every time you go to the dentist, my dentist will be looking at my mouth like, ooh, you have not been flossing every day, have you? No, not every day. Let me think. The last time I flossed, you did it. I don't know why the bank leaves the vault door wide open, but change the 25-cent ink pen to the counter. And why does the drive-up banking window have directions written in Braille? They do. Look at it next time you go to the bank. I don't know why the people with the worst breath always stand the closest to you when they talk. They're like, guess what? I don't know. You have a dirty diaper in your mouth? Can I tell you something? All right, but do it quick. I can only hold my breath for 30 seconds. And you always try to offer them a mint or a piece of gum. They never take it. They're like, oh, no thanks. Ooh, I don't like the way those taste. Yeah, I can see where you wouldn't prefer peppermint to that cat turd you're gnawing on right now. That's, I don't know why you can't ride a bicycle anymore without dressing like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Anybody remember when you could ride a bike wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt? Not anymore. Got to have the uni. And it's not just young athletic people. You got these fat middle-aged guys. They look like the Michelin Man in a wetsuit, and they've got sponsor logos. Who's sponsoring you, Pop? Dunkin' Donuts, all right. Pedal on, doughboy, pedal on. I don't know why my wife continues to ask every year, what do you want for your birthday? What do I always want for my birthday? What's every man in here want for his birthday? The same thing every woman in here doesn't want for her birthday. Never one time has my wife said, you know what, this year, forget the flowers, forget the presents. Why don't you just lock that door and take me to Squeal Town? But it's what every guy wants. You could be visiting your 90-year-old grandpa in the nursing home and be like, happy birthday, Papa. Is today my birthday? It sure is. Well, help me get my pants off. I don't know why a dog can eat his own vomit, gobble up cat poop, and lick his rear end for hours and be totally fine. But if he eats half a candy bar, he dies. I don't know why in 2023 we still have jobs that we will call men's jobs or women's jobs. Like if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, whose job is it to go check out the noise? It's the man. Let's be honest. Yeah, you never see this. Phyllis. Phyllis. Run downstairs, see what that noise was. Hey, bring me back a piece of chicken, okay? Now, if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it is the man checking it out. In his underwear, carrying a baseball bat. Because that is the official uniform of suspicious noises, underpants and a baseball bat. I don't know what we're hoping to find, some guy in the living room in his underwear with a ball. And my dad didn't even need the baseball bat, because my dad wore those gigantic boxer shorts that were always gapped open in the front. That gap was like a taser to a thief. Shut the gap, shut the gap. Here, take my wallet, just shut that gap. know why every time I get great tickets to a concert, I always end up being seated next to somebody that has to sing every song at the top of their lungs. So several years ago, Simon and Garfunkel came to Atlanta. My wife wanted to go. She had a couple of friends that wanted to go. Well, my mother-in-law wanted to go. Quick backstory on my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has hearing aids that she refuses to wear because she thinks they don't look good. But because she doesn't wear them, she can't hear a lick. She talks louder than anybody on the planet. One night around Christmas time, we go to the movies. We're standing in the long line at the concession stand. My mother-in-law walks over to me and goes, "Don't look now, but the man behind us is cross-eyed as a bat." Which is bad for two reasons. One, you're embarrassed to death. And two, when somebody says something like that, yes, you've got to look, you know. Then I'm like, turn around, the guy's glaring at me. Well, he may not have been glaring at me, but he was glaring at somebody. So we go to Simon and Garfunkel. Somehow I end up being seated next to my mother-in-law. She doesn't have the hearing aids in. She sang every Simon and Garfunkel song, and she knew the words to none of them. Like a witch over Bubble's daughter. Are you kidding? I will grease your pine. Grease your pine? That's what you got out of that? And my kids make fun of me. They're like, "Dad, don't ever stand up there and tell people things you don't know. If you don't know something, Google it." And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" You go, "Man, he looks familiar." That was it. Now you watch TV, somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" Somebody takes their phone and goes, "He was the janitor on Joey." And there are a ton of things you can Google. But I try to teach my daughters, I said, what you don't understand is there's a lot of things you can't Google. There's things you only learn through life experience. I call them the facts of life, things you can't Google. Like this, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit in the effort to save a couple of seconds. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post. And the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. Google won't tell you that. You learn that the hard way. Fact of life. Out of all of the cereals, Captain Crunch is the most time intensive. Here's what I'm talking about. You eat it too soon after you poured the milk on and you will rip the roof of your mouth to shreds. You wait too long after you pour the milk on and the captain will put a film on your teeth a wire brush can't get rid of. Fact of life. You can have a wife with long, beautiful hair, or you can be on time. Speaking of wives, fact of life. If your wife hints that she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. Speaking of kids, fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. Yeah, by the time that fourth kid rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth, dummy. Fact of life, flying on an airplane makes you gassy. Nobody ever talks about this. Nobody acknowledges it. No, we just all take our roll around suitcase and walk to baggage claim, popping them off like a trail horse. I'm sorry, God, it was just a joke, all right? Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example. One night I got a text. The text simply said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. I go through the house, I found my wife. I said, hey, just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, were the people in the other car hurt too? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, did they even have insurance? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, what hospital did they take him to? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom, he was in a bad wreck. She said, you don't know anything. What do you know? I said, I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text that he was in a bad wreck. Not holding anything back. That's all I got. Well, I have to get out of here because they have other things to do. And I have another show in November I need to get ready for. Again, thank y'all for being here and donating your money to people that's going to change their life. And I mean, that's the face of Jesus. That's why we're here, is to make other people love God, love each other. So thank you for doing that. And I have such a blessed life. I have been very blessed because I've loved what my gift was, and I don't know why I can do it. I can just do it. God gave me the gift, and I've been able to do a lot of things, whether it's hosting the show, I paint, I draw, I write books. But if you ever put a gun to my head and said, hey, you can't do but one, it would always be stand-up. I like seeing people. I like that instant reaction. The only negative thing I've ever found about being a stand-up comedian is you're on the road by yourself. And that's why doing something like the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was one of the most fun things I ever did, because I wasn't by myself. I was with 3 of my buddies, and every night we go, can y'all believe they're paying us to do this? This is crazy. And people always say, I bet y'all have a lot of funny stories from when you were on the road together. And there are, but I don't want to tell one on one of the other guys because they're not here, to give their side. But in conclusion, let me share one comedy road story with you about me. So COVID started in 2020. So the summer of 2019, Larry, the cable guy, and I were doing a bunch of dates together that summer. And when you do summer dates, they're almost all outside. You're either doing amphitheaters or country music festivals or, fairs. You're always outside, and you get used to being hot. We did a music festival in Phoenix. It was 112 when we went on stage. And the promoter was trying to make us feel better. He goes, come on, fellas, it's the dry heat. I said, so is the electric chair. It's 112 degrees, But I don't sweat very much. I mean, you can say I don't sweat when I'm up here. And so we do this show one night in the South. I'm not even going to say the name of the city because there may be a computer genius here that can get the footage of this. But we did a show one night, and it was not only hot, it was humid as rip. So 10 minutes